Okay. Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and sorry for the bit late. And then today we have Kitty and also Mr. Sheikh from Bonn University. As I say in our WhatsApp group earlier, that Miss Kitty a bit unwell today, so the speaker will be Mr. Sheikh from Bonn University. And if some of you not familiar with Bonn University, it's one of the private university in Australia, located in Gold Coast. And maybe some of you already joining with our fam trip on April and visited the campus. It's very beautiful with a good facility, and they bring us to have the campus tour together with the student, and they share their experience studying there. They're very happy. So today we can learn more about Bonn University from Mr. Sheikh. And if during the presentation you have any question, you can submit them in the Q&A box and then we will answer them after the presentation. And as usual, we will record this session. So if you need some reminder about the information or some of your colleagues want to know about Bonn University, can revisit the information in the recording and we will upload it in our YouTube channel so can access by everyone. Okay, without further ado, the floor is yours, eh?
Thank you, Margareta. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining us today. My name is Sheikh Ahmed. I'm the Regional Director at Bond University. I'm based in the beautiful Gold Coast in Australia. And joining me today is Kituan, my colleague, who is the Regional Manager for Southeast Asia, and she takes care of all that market. She is responsible for the market. But unfortunately, today she is a bit under the weather. So I am leading the presentation. So what I'll do is I'll just give you a brief introduction about Bond University, and my presentation is just about under 40 minutes. And as Margareta mentioned, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So let me share my presentation with you, and hopefully I'll be able to um, take you through the Bond University's presentation. Uh, can somebody confirm that you're able to see my screen?
Yep, you can see it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So what I'll do in this
Sheikh,
presentation,
sorry, this
sorry.
is this is the presentation. Still not the full screen one.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Uh, is it okay now?
Still not the full screen.
It's not the
So
full
this is
screen.
it's the presenter view.
Oh, okay, okay. Just a minute. I'm so sorry about that. Just let me go back and present it in a presenter view. Okay, now let me go back and share this. Share. Are you able to see the full screen now?
Yep, now it's the full screen.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So what we'll do in today's presentation is I'll just give you a brief introduction about Bond University and how it is deliberately different and why the student prefers Bond and why do they come to Bond, our ratings and rankings, global ratings, and a couple of myths that people have around Bond University. And I'll also talk about the application process and some of the popular programs that we have and where students from Indonesia, especially apply at Bond for those programs. So the most popular programs I'll be talking to you about. Um, to give you the introduction that I gave you in the beginning about me. Are you able to see the slides moving? I think there is a tech issue again. Just a minute. Yep. Okay. Um, I gave you an introduction about myself in the beginning. I'm the regional director and based at Bond University in Gold Coast, Australia. So before I begin my presentation, I would like to acknowledge the Kombuberri people, the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which the university stands, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. So welcome to the Australia's most ambitious university. So what do you mean by Australia's most ambitious university? So you must have heard the statement, birds of the same feather flock together. So students who have high ambitions usually end up at Bond, because what we do at Bond is we nurture those ambitions of the students. And as like to give you an example, we have students who were so ambitious that they were the first in the family to travel overseas for an international qualification. They were the first in the family to have an initial startup and come to a university in Australia to study. So students come with different kind of ambitions across the world, and they all come to Bond because that's the place where we nurture the ambition. So ambition of one person rubs onto the other, and that's how we nurture ambition on Bond campus. So we welcome you to the Australia's most ambitious university. Now, what is it that makes Bond different? So Margareta in the beginning said that Bond University is a private university, but what it means is we are a private but not-for-profit university, which means Bond does not make any profits. So we don't make $1 profit, and whatever money that comes in as fees, we spend it back on to the students. And in the following slides, I will demonstrate to you how exactly we spend that money onto the students. The second thing is the location. As I mentioned, it is based in Gold Coast, which is the 6th biggest city of Australia and is the topmost tourist destination in Australia. And it's mainly known for its beauty. It's like a paradise in Australia with 42 kilometers of beach line. And it's fabulous city, which is based just about 60 kilometers to the south of Brisbane. We are deliberately and intentionally small university with a total of only 5,000 students. And we have about 65% of those students are Australians and 35% are international that come from 90 different countries. And we have close to about alumni in about 130 countries. So Bond University was established in the year 1989. So I'm just taking you back on a bit of a history about Bond. So it was established by an entrepreneur of Australia by name Alan Bond. That's where the university is named after, Bond University. And the model of Bond University is primarily based on the Ivy League model of universities based in the US. So some of the topmost Ivy League universities like Harvard, Princeton, Yale. So you all know about that. So Bond is based on that particular model. And that's precisely why we are intentionally small, because in those Ivy League school, what matters is the personalized learning engagement and the personalized learning experience of students on the campus. We are ranked #1 in Australia for our student learning experience, not for 1 or 2 years, but 17 years in a row. That demonstrates how Bond is well known in Australia for the student learning experience. When it comes to the global ranking, if you look into the Times Higher Education ranking, the recent ones, especially among the small and young universities. So universities, we have two categories. One, which is 150 years old, which is like the sandstone universities. And the other one are the modern universities, which are less than 50 years old. So Bond was established in the year 1989. So we are just about 36 to 37 years old. So we are under 50 and we are called the young universities. So if you look at the global ranking under the young universities, we are ranked globally 23rd among the young universities. And we also have the smallest classroom size in Australia with 11 students on an average. So the average classroom size for a tutor is 11:1. So one professor for 11 students. That's an average classroom size, but it doesn't mean all classroom sizes are 11 students. We have anywhere between 11 to 15 to 20 students in a class. But then We also have tutorials where you have a student after attending the lectures go into the tutorials, and the maximum size of a tutorial is no more than 30 students. So we intentionally remain small and make sure that the classroom size is no more than max 30 so that there is a very personalized learning engagement with the professors. We are very closely aligned to the American universities model, and we have 3 intakes in a year. We have one in Jan, one in May, and one in September. So we have 3 intakes, unlike other universities which only have 2 in a year. And most of the master's degrees that we offer have an integral part. The internships is an integral part of those degrees, which I'll demonstrate in the coming slides about the master's program. And majority of the programs offered at Bond have global accreditations. So this is the campus, what you're seeing here. We have about 120 acres of campus. So we offer programs at Bond across 4 main faculties. That's School of Business, School of Medicine, School of Law, and a Faculty of Society and Design that offers many programs like architecture, psychology, and built environment programs, film and TV also. We also have on campus the Bond University College, which is based on the campus itself, where we run the foundation programs as well as the pathway programs of diplomas leading into the bachelor's program. So if you're sending a student from Indonesia to do a pathway program, either English language or a diploma leading to a bachelor's degree, they are on the campus itself. So this is the beautiful Gold Coast downtown, which is called the Surfers Paradise. It's mainly known for surfing. So a lot of tourists come to Gold Coast, and it's mainly known for surfing. So one of the reasons why the downtown is also called as the Surfers Paradise. So we are just about 60 to 70 kilometers to the south of Brisbane, and it roughly takes about 1 hour drive to Brisbane. And to the south, we have Sydney, and it takes 1 hour flight to Sydney and Melbourne. So Gold Coast, what exactly is the pull for Gold Coast? Why people come mainly to Gold Coast in Australia? It's because of the weather. So we have 300 days of sunshine. The maximum summer temperature is about 30 degrees, whereas the winter is about 10 to 14 degrees. So we are not extremely cold or extremely hot. It's very moderate. So the temperature is in an average between 15 to 30 degrees centigrade. And we have 300 days of sunshine. So why come to Bond? This is the question. Why students prefer to come to Bond? What is it that Bond makes it different for the student? And what is the value addition that Bond gives to international students who come here? So at Bond, we do not have a back row, or we call it as a backbencher. So as I mentioned, most traditional universities have about 200 to 300 students, but the average classroom size of Bond is no more than 11 on an average. The average is 11 students in a classroom, but no more than 30 in a tutorial. So if you look at a picture of other universities, you have something like 200 to 300 students. The professor does not know the student, and the student does not know the professor personally, but at Bond we have a very small classroom size that helps in a very personalized engagement with the professor. The students know the professor with the first name, and the professors know the student with the first name. So there is a very personalized engagement and learning experience for the students who come to Bond. This is the number one a unique point of about Bonds, which makes students come to Bond, that we have very small classroom sizes and there is a very personalized engagement with the student. Second is the accelerated degree. So the way we deliver programs at Bond is a bit different. So we call it as an accelerated degree. So let me demonstrate to you what exactly it means. So if you take an example of a Bachelor's of Commerce, if you take any university degree, it is typically a 3-year program where the student does 2 semesters per year, semester 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6 in 3 years, across 3 years. But what we do at Bond is we offer a trimester, which means we do 3 semesters in a year in the first year and 3 semesters in the second year. So the student technically completes the bachelor's degree in 2 years. Now, what are the benefits of having a 2-year degree? The first benefit is the living expenses. So you know that students coming from Indonesia, they spend living expenses approximately $29,710 as per the DHA requirement as of today. So they spend $29,000 each year. So if the student is doing a 3-year degree, he spends 29,000 times 3. But if you're coming to Bond, you complete the program in 2 years. So technically, you're saving $29,000 of 1 year living expenses for the 3rd year. Now, one of the questions that comes to your mind is, if we are offering 3 semesters in a year, is it very intense? Are we making students do a lot of work in the 3 semesters? The answer is no, because the duration of each semesters across Australia is no more than 14 to 15 weeks. So each semester at Bond is only 14 weeks. So semester 1 is 14 weeks, 2 is 14 weeks, and 3 is 14 weeks, and so on. Now, where is the point of difference? The thing is, most universities, when they offer 2 semesters in a year, the break time between the semesters is 1 month here, between semester 1 and 2, and between semester 2 and 3, they get a 3 months break. So they are getting 4 months of break time in other universities. But what we do at Bond is we squeeze in a 3rd semester there, and the break time between the semesters is only 2 weeks each. So that way we are able to offer a 3 semester, which is not very intense. It is exactly the same like any other university of 14 weeks per semester. But the benefit is we save on the 3rd year living expenses cost. So that's the reason why we say when you come to Bond, you take the fast lane. So a couple of examples here. If you're doing a commerce degree, most universities, it is 3 years, but at Bond, you complete in 2 years. If you take the law degree, most universities offer it for 4-year program, whereas at Bond, you graduate in 2 years and 8 months. The architecture degree is 4 years, whereas at Bond, it is only 3 years and 4 months. And physiotherapist, you become a certified accredited physiotherapist in Australia at Bond in just 4 years, whereas it takes 5 years plus in other universities. So we also offer the professional master's degree, which is a very big plus point for the students coming from Indonesia. So let's exactly see what it means by professional master's degrees. The majority of the master's degree we offer at Bond is again based on a trimester model. So most universities in Australia offer a master's degree in 2 years with 2 semesters each year. But at Bond, what we do, because of the trimester model, we do 3 semesters in the first year. And in the second year, we do the beginning 4th semester. And then you're left with 20 weeks, which is approximately 5 months. And what we do in this 5 months is we put the student in an internship in the industry. So the student goes to do an internship in the industry for 5 months continuous. And this internship Bond provides to the student. The student does not have to look for it. So this is an integral part of the master. So in the beginning slide, I mentioned that Bond has master's professional degrees where we have integrated industry learning experience in the program itself. Now, some of the universities claim they also do the internships, but they do it in a different way. They break the internships in each semester. So they might do 2 weeks in semester 1, 1 week in semester 2, 2 weeks again in semester 3, and that way. But what we do at Bond is we offer a full 5 months of internship at the end of the program in the 5th semester. So that way, the entire master's degree program at Bond is completed in 1 year, 8 months, which is approximately 92 weeks, and they still save on the living expenses of 4 months in the end. So there is still a saving of the living expenses because of that. And this professional work experience, what we place the student in the industry, is offered to every single student. And that is in the area of study. For example, if the student is doing project management or construction practice or a AI degree in enterprise AI, we do the placement in the area of study in the similar field, and not like non-related programs. We don't do that. So that's the benefit of coming to Bond. And we all know students coming from Indonesia, they're always looking at the career benefits after completing a program where they want work experience in Australia. So this 5 months of work experience goes onto the CV of every student who studies a master's at Bond. And that's because we're able to give this internship opportunity to every single student because of the smaller classroom size. Whereas other universities with 200, 300 students in a classroom cannot offer that kind of internship opportunities to the students. So we also have a Beyond Bond program and the undergrad level. So what we do is we train the student on the soft skills, which actually helps them in getting the employment once they graduate from Bond. So we also have, as I mentioned, the pathway program available for students coming from Indonesia. So if the student completes a year 11 or equivalent from Indonesia, excuse me, if they complete a year 11 equivalent of an Australian education in Indonesia, they can actually come to do the foundation program, and then that's cross-credit into the semester one, and then it goes on to complete the bachelor's degree. Similarly, if the student comes into a diploma program at Bond, that diploma program of 2 semesters is cross-credit into the bachelor's degree, and the student straight away goes into semester 3. That way, the duration of the bachelor's degree is not increased because of the pathway of a diploma program. So these options are available, both English and foundation studies for students coming from Indonesia. Now, we also have a lot of student support services, and we know that students coming from Indonesia come from a different learning experience. English is not their first language, and they face challenges when they first come to a university in Australia in terms of learning and engagement. And that's where Bond offers a lot of hand-holding and support to the students. We have the academic skills support team on campus, which helps the student in understanding how to make those academic reports or do the presentations to the classroom and those kind of things. And these support services are offered free to the student, which is very much necessary when the student comes for the first time to Australia from a country where the learning experience is completely different. So Bond does a lot of hand-holding to the students in the beginning and throughout the program. And we also have accommodation options on the campus. We have about 400 beds on the campus, but these are on first come, first serve basis. So we encourage the students, once they get the visa, to apply for a on-campus accommodation at the earliest. Apart from the on-campus accommodation, we also have accommodation options around the campus, which are about 5 to 10 minutes walking distance. And the housing team on campus can help your students find those accommodation options too. So what are the main study areas we offer? So I'm just going to brief you through some of the programs that are very popular in Indonesia. And we offer programs in actuarial science, data analytics, architecture, business and commerce, construction environment. We have health, biomedical science, sports sciences, international relations, law, project management, psychology, and so on. So let's take a couple of popular programs of Bond, and I will walk you through those programs. So Bond Business School, as I mentioned, is one of the top ranked business schools in the world. So we are ranked among the top 2% of the business schools in the world. And we offer the UG and PG programs in the areas of actuarial science, data analytics, business, commerce, sports management. So we offer this in the UG as well as the master's program. Now, some of the programs that are listed here, such as the actuarial science, is actually accredited by the Institute of Actuaries Australia. And the student, when he graduates, he doesn't have to go and do the additional exams or certification exams of actuarial science in Australia to practice. So it's the program offered at Bond is fully accredited by Institute of Actuaries. As part of the finance degree program, we also offer finance and accounting. We do the Bloomberg certification. So we have about 40 Bloomberg terminals in the FinTech lab of Bond, whereas most universities only have about 15 to 20 of those. And as I mentioned, all the master's degree with the professional component of 20 weeks, students get up to 5 months of internship experience in the industry. So these are the business programs that we offer. The most prominent, which most students from Indonesia apply, are into data analytics. And we also have the program in what do you call it as a business, mainly into marketing and sports management and accounting. But there is a new program which is coming up, which is the Enterprise AI. This is the new program offered by Bond in artificial intelligence. Most universities offer what is called as a fully technical AI degree, which has got a lot of technicality, but no business process. So there is a gap. Most of those graduates do not understand the business process of corporate sector. So the degree offered at Bond which is a enterprise AI or enterprise artificial intelligence, has both the components of business process and the technicality of AI. So that makes Bond University the pioneer in Australia to introduce such a new program for the first time. So these are the companies, some of the companies listed here that work with Bond Business School, and this is where we do the internship placements of the companies, of the students. So you can see some of the top companies of Australia are listed here. Now, when it comes to Faculty of Society and Design, the two prominent programs what we offer here is the construction management and quantity surveying and project management. So we are one of the few universities in Australia that offer an undergrad degree in a construction management and quantity surveying. And these programs are actually on the skill shortage list of Australia, which means the employability and settlement options are high for these programs. So we offer a Bachelor's of Construction Management and Quantity Surveying, and we also offer a Master's of Construction Practice. And the master's program includes the 20 weeks of professional component or 5 months of internship. Now, we happen to be the only Australian university to offer a project management program. And at the master's level, we do have a mentor program at the master's level, which is a paid program for with an experience of about 210 project hours, live project hours. We also offer a Bachelor's of Film and TV and a architecture program that is at the undergrad level as well as at the postgrad. And we also offer the psychology program. So the Faculty of Law is the third one, where we offer a program in law, which is we offer two bachelor's degrees, which is a Bachelor's of Business Law and Bachelor's of Law. And at the postgrad, we offer the Juris Doctor and the Masters of Law. Students who have completed a law degree in Indonesia can apply for a Juris Doctor program. And we give them up to 60 cross credits based on the bachelor's law papers they have completed in Indonesia and the common law. Now, how do you become a practicing lawyer in Australia? So there are two pathways. Either you do a Bachelor's of Law, which is 2 years and 8 months at Bond, or you can do a Juris Doctor, which is a 2-year program, which you can do after completing a bachelor's degree in Indonesia. And after completion of either of these degrees, you do a GDLP, which is Grad Diploma in Legal Practice, which is usually 2 semesters. You complete that, and then you go on to register at the Supreme Court of Queensland State, and that gives you the license to practice as a legal practitioner, not only in Queensland, but also across various states of Australia. Now, Faculty of Health Sciences offers some very promising undergrad and postgrad programs. So we have a Bachelor's of Biomedical Science, and we now recently introduced a new program, which is Bachelor's of Exercise Physiology, and that's again a 2-year program. So you could do that undergrad programs either in health sciences or biomedical sciences, and that actually gives you a pathway into medicine for the lateral entry if students want to apply for the medicine at Bond, but there are other conditions to be met. The 3 prominent postgrad programs what we offer are Masters of Nutrition and Dietetics Practice, Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physiotherapy. Now, all of these 3 programs include clinical placements, and Bond does those clinical placements for the students. For example, Doctor of Physiotherapy, most universities offer you a clinical experience of about 950 to 1,000 hours, but at Bond, we do it for 1,400 hours of clinical training or clinical practice. Now, the benefit of doing that is it helps you with the accreditation of other countries like US and Canada, where that's one of the requirements to have 1,400 hours of clinical experience. Now, some of the common myths about Bond is because we are private, profit is the motive. It is not so. I've demonstrated in my previous slide that every single dollar that comes into Bond, we spend it back onto the student by giving them scholarships and those kind of things, and spending on the infrastructure on the students. Bond does not make any profits. And Bond University is expensive, which I'll try and demonstrate in the coming slides why it is not true. And also there is a myth about the employability being less from a private university compared to public university. So let's address those myths. So Bond is a private and not-for-profit, as I mentioned. So what we do is every single dollar that comes in as fee, we reinvest it back into the student by keeping deliberately the class size small and giving that personalized learning experience. We have unlimited scholarships in UG and PG, and we have the state-of-the-art facilities like 40 Bloomberg terminals, what I mentioned about the FinTech lab, and affordable campus accommodation for the students. So let's take an example to see the value of bond degree in comparison with other universities. So let's take an example of a Queensland GO8, one of the universities that's based in GO8 and Bond University. And here I'm trying to compare an undergrad program in business and a postgrad program in accounting. So if you see the degree, the fee cost for the entire bachelor's degree of 6 semesters or 3 years in other universities is close to about $160,000. Whereas at Bond, which is same the 6 semesters, but we do it in 2 years, that fee is about $150,000. So it is relatively lesser than the GO8 based in Queensland. And the most important thing is the other services such as gym and parking are completely free at Bond, whereas most universities charge a fee for that. But the biggest game changer is the living cost or the accommodation cost. As I mentioned, Bond completes the degree in 2 years. So technically, the student is saving on the third year living expense of $29,000. So that brings down the cost to just about $59,000 for Bond, whereas for other universities, it is more than $89,000. So that way, if you look at the undergrad degree at Bond, is way cheaper than one of the GO8s that is based in Queensland. This is only for the sake of example of comparison that I'm showing you the fee. Similar is the case with the master's degree because we complete it in 92 weeks. There is again a saving in the living expenses. And our international fee is way less than most of the universities with only about $86,000 for a postgrad program. Now, what happens when we throw in the scholarship? So Bond offers a lot of scholarships, and those scholarships are unlimited, and those scholarships are actually merit-based. So let's take an example of an undergrad degree. Bond offers 50% scholarship on the undergrad program. The maximum scholarship any university in Australia can offer you is anywhere between 20 to 30%. But at Bond, we offer 50% scholarship. The second point of difference in our scholarship is some universities have a 50% or 100% scholarship, but they are based on quota. They have limited one or two scholarships, and the student has to compete for that and write statement of purpose and so on, and demonstrate that he's eligible for that scholarship. But at Bond, the 50% scholarship is unlimited. To give you an example, let's say S Education from Indonesia, from all the branches in Indonesia, has 5 students, and all 5 students are meeting the merit entry requirement for the scholarship, then all 5 will be given the scholarship. It's not that only one gets it. So all 5 can get it. So that way, our 50% scholarships are unlimited. And these scholarships are merit-based, which means the student does not have to apply for it. So when you send the student application, the admissions team looks at the application, does the assessment, and if the student meets the requirement, the offer letter that is sent to you is with a 50% discounted fee because of the scholarship. So right from the first semester. So that's the third point of difference. Bond gives those undergrad scholarships or the postgrad scholarships right from the first semester, whereas most other universities start that scholarship from the second semester. So that's the undergrad scholarship. At the postgrad, we have a 25% scholarship. And if you look at the tuition fee of $87,000 with a 25% scholarship, the fee comes down to just about $65,000 compared to any other university. We are more competitive. So that breaks the myth that Bond is very expensive, but we have lots of scholarships, unlimited. That makes it more affordable for the students from Indonesia. And we also help in the employability. So that's one of the things, like I mentioned in my previous slide, students coming to do a postgrad are always looking at the employment options. The 20 weeks or 5 months of internship is the biggest game changer for the student coming to do a postgrad program at Bond, because that is guaranteed to every single student. And we are able to do that because we have a smaller classroom size. Now, coming to the application process, how do we do it? So as an authorized agent of Bond, you have access to the study link, the portal, which Bond uses. So what you do is you go on to the study link and then you submit the documents or the application of the student. So you initially submit the documents in study link, and that's a very good platform to store documents or add more documents if the admission team needs any of those. So what are those documents that you initially submit? The first is you submit the ID documents such as the passport or any other ID that the student has. And then you initially submit the documents of his high school, and if he's applying for a postgrad, the bachelor's degree program. Even if the student has not completed an English language test like IELTS or PT, you can still apply. So based on these initial documents, the admissions team will provide you a conditional offer letter. And in the condition offer letter, we will mention the documents that the student needs to provide to get an unconditional offer. And that also includes the GS assessment. And once we provide you a conditional offer, the usual turnaround time to provide you an conditional offer is about 48 hours from the time of applying. And once you get the conditional offer, you need to provide the requested documents by the admissions team, which include the English language test or the GS documents, which we have asked, like the GS declaration, the financial statements of the student, details of the sponsors, and so on. Once we get all the documents, the admission team will assess that and provide you with an unconditional offer. And once you get the unconditional offer, the student pays the fee for the first semester, and we issue you the COE to apply for the student visa application. So what are the tips when you're making an application? What you're supposed to be careful on is make sure that the student meets all the entry requirements of the program. And the entry requirements you can easily check on the website. If you go to the website of Bond, www.bond.edu.au, and in the search column, type the program that you want to study. Let's say Bachelor of Business. The program page comes up and there is entry requirements. Click onto that and you can actually see the entry requirements by the country. So you have to put in the country name and it gives you the list of qualifications and what is the minimum entry requirement. So make sure before submitting the application, the student meets the entry requirements for the program. The second thing, what you need to make sure is you're providing the ID documents. And if there are any changes in the ID document, like the name change or anything, you need to provide the supporting documents. And the GS documents, what we ask you, the student has to provide the GS answer for the 4 questions of the GS declaration, and each of those should be only in 150 words. And the GS application form is given to you. The student has to fill in only those columns in the GS application form. So we encourage you that you check twice before submitting any of those applications for a visa. So what are the main causes of visa refusals? What we have seen is mainly because when you try to remember that when you submitting the online application for DHA, make sure that you're providing supporting documents for any statement that you make. That if you make a statement or a claim, there has to be evidence attached. And we also help you in converting those students. So for example, let's say you have a student who is potential Bond and you want Bond to engage more with the students, we do it. You don't have to struggle in giving too much information about Bond. All you need to do is either scan the QR code that is there or click on the link, and we offer 3 kind of support to your potential student. One, we can make him speak to a current student who is studying at Bond so that they can share the experience. The student can share his current experience as a Bond student to the potential student. We do not monitor that call. It's completely individual. So the student can ask any question to the current student of Bond. The second thing is we also organize what is called as a virtual tour. The student and the parent can decide a date and time, and you make a booking with either with Kitty1 or with me, and we can organize a student. If you prefer a student from Indonesia, we can have a student from Indonesia who can take the camera, go around the campus and show the campus and answer any of your questions you have. The third support is if the student wants to know more about the program or a specific information about a particular paper that is being taught at Bond, we can set up a meeting, virtual meeting with the tutor or the professor, and the student can actually interact with the faculty directly. So these are the three conversion supports we offer to the agents. Now, Agent Bond, everyone has to pass this exam. Please copy the QR code. It's a very exciting program where you become an Agent Bond and go through the immersive experience of learning more about the bond. And at the end, when you complete the mission, you will be given a certificate of an Agent Bond. And that's an exciting thing to complete. It takes just under 30 to 35 minutes to complete the training. We also have an agent resource page. Please copy that QR code or the link that is shown on the screen. This takes you directly to a web page where we have a lot of resources placed for the agent, and that includes videos, testimonials, student testimonials, posters, banners, and so on, and including the logos. You are allowed to download all of those resources and use them in the promotion that you plan for Bond or in your offices, or even share it with the students. So you are bound by the ESOS Act. Make sure that you follow the ESOS Act. And a couple of things to highlight you about the code of practice is you got to be very transparent when you are giving information about Bond. Always, it is a good practice to take the student to the website of Bond and show the details are the information about a program, the duration, the fees, everything. Please do not hide anything from the student. Give clear-cut information to the student. And if you have the student has any specific questions which you are unable to find in the web page, please contact us and we'll be happy to answer to the student queries. And also make sure that you tell the student about the DHA requirements of not being able to change the provider for a certain number of years and all those kind of things. And you need to explain to the student that he needs to comply with the visa conditions at all times when he's in Australia, and make sure that he doesn't work beyond the number of hours that he's permitted to do on a student visa. So those kind of information is in the code of practice that you are required to provide it to the student. Now, the big opportunity for Gold Coast is the Olympics of 2032 happening in Gold Coast and Brisbane. So there is a lot of activity happening here, a lot of construction happening. And there are four main areas where there are a lot of job opportunities. One is into project management. Second is into construction practice. Third into AI and data analytics. And the fourth is into hospitality and sports management. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheikh, for the information. I really appreciate the opportunity to visit your campus on April. It's very beautiful, nice weather at that time too, and
Thank you.
very
Thank you,
great
Magata.
facility.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can say that the facility Bond University over is not below the public university across Australia.
Yeah.
Especially, we love the gym and the Olympic pool.
Yes, yes. And we have produced about 19 Olympians and counting. So we have a very good Olympic program at Bond. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the good opportunity to visit the gym facility, and
Yeah.
then we saw the Olympic pool size. And
Yeah.
you have two in your campus.
That's right. And they're temperature controlled.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
nice. So they
Yeah.
can train all
Yeah.
all the month, all the season, right?
Yep. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
It's very good facility because usually the student that go to Australia, they also like looking for the gym facility, either is from the on-campus accommodation or from
Yeah.
the campus itself. So it's
Correct.
very great that Bond University offer very great facility and
Yep.
free for the student, right?
Of course, we do that on-campus accommodation. And do you know that the on-campus accommodation offered at Bond is actually cheaper than outside because we don't make the profits. So we are not profit oriented. So even the accommodation that we offer on the campus is actually cheaper than the outside one.
Yeah. And also maybe the one that piqued the interest is that you also offer the family type accommodation, right?
Correct.
Which
That's
is
right.
very rarely offered.
Yes.
So for our partners who attend this session, if you have any student, mature student married with family, so Bond University can be one of the option
Yes.
for, especially since they offer the family type accommodation, which I don't think any other university offer for the family type.
No,
Usually
no,
they
they
only
don't.
offer like the
They don't.
single type or the shared apartment, but not
Yeah.
for the family, right?
Yeah. And for those students coming from Indonesia, we have Indonesian students on the campus at the moment. And we also have a good alumni based in Indonesia. Now, for those students, for their benefit, I'm giving this information. We have a prayer area for Muslims on the campus. So we have a mosque for men and a woman, and the food served in the cafeteria is halal. And we have a good set of alumni based in Indonesia who graduate from Bond University. So if the students want to talk to them, we'll be happy to organize even a call with them.
That's great.
Yeah,
So our partner here, if you have any student or if you want to do like the online session to share about Bond University information, we can
yeah,
arrange. Just contact Yes Education team, can be with me
yeah,
or with Mas Febri or with Farid. And then we can try to arrange the schedule when we can do the online info session. Or maybe if you have student currently in school
yeah,
holiday, go to Gold Coast or Brisbane. Gold Coast is
absolutely.
only like 1 hour away from Brisbane,
Yep,
easily accessible by the train also.
yeah. And
So
50 cents. The cost is only
yeah, it's
50 cents.
50 cents.
Yeah,
So it's easy to visit the campus too if they visit Australia during the holiday.
yeah,
Just contact us and we can arrange the campus visit with Sheikh or with Kitty One.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, if you have any question, do not hesitate to submit your question in the chat box.
Or
And
you can
maybe
even ask
while,
directly. Yeah.
yeah, maybe while waiting, some of our Indonesian students usually they graduate still under 18, right? So
Hmm.
how is the under 18 arrangement in Bond
Yeah.
University?
So if he is under 18, we make it mandatory that the student live on the campus or with a pre-checked family host. So we have families that are pre-vetted by the police. So the student has to have a stay with those kind of accommodations or on the campus. So it's mandatory for them. So we provide and we do the pastoral care of the student. So there is a under 18 pastoral care officer who actually checks on to that students quite regularly, and we make sure that the student does not go to places where liquor is served or on all those kind of things. We take care of it, the safety and security, and it's absolutely safe and sound on the campus. We have 24/7 security availability.
That's great. So it's very safe for student,
Yeah,
especially for female student. Usually the parents more worried about their safety, right?
yeah. So it's on the campus. It's absolutely safe. Yeah.
Okay. I still not see any question. Is it already clear enough or because or something else? Don't be shy. Just ask your question or if you
Yeah.
currently have any inquiries from your student who interested in programs that offered by Bond University, maybe currently still thinking, not sure which university. Or maybe it's too clear, the information.
Nobody understood. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if there are no questions, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Margareta, for organizing this. And please don't hesitate to contact me, either me or Kitivan. We are both available, and you have our contact numbers and email ID. Feel free to send us any question you have, and we'll be happy to answer. Even if you have one student, we'll be happy to talk to them. Not an issue.
maybe as a reminder, the Yes Education usually have the annual fam trip,
Yep.
and the point counting already start from February until January next year.
Yep.
And Bond University also counted for the point. So
Yep.
if you have any student interested, want to talk with them, we can arrange. Or if you want to promote more about Bond University and do online info session, we can arrange. Or maybe if Kitiwan or Sheikh, when you are visiting Indonesia, we can try to arrange
Yep.
the offline session too.
Sure. Definitely.
Okay, thank you so
Definitely.
much,
Thank
everyone. Thank
you.
you, Sheikh.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Kitiwan. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.